Hello and welcome to Ulay Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Scorpio. If Scorpio is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. All right, let's get started. And so this is a bonus reading for Scorpio, and tonight our card is the Magician. Okay, and let's go ahead and take a look and see what these tea leaves have to say. So we have the number, well, it looks like E2. E2, if that means anything to you. And so if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you want to hit the like button or leave a comment, I would love to hear from you, especially if you're new to the channel. Shout it out in the comment section. Okay, so we have a person, and it looks like they have a covered wagon. Here we have the horse. We have the person up here. The person looks like a snake. We have a covered wagon. Over here, we have a person who is kind of standing in the way. Kind of standing in the way. So I feel immediately like this is somebody who, I almost feel like it's somebody who just showed up in your life. Like they just are some new person, some random person, and they kind of have shown up, and it's almost like they're too familiar. They feel very comfortable very quickly to kind of just take up residence in your existence, within your, maybe even your household. Maybe, you know, this is somebody who's like getting married into the family, or maybe this is like somebody who has been hired at your job, and they just show up. They kind of feel like they know it all, that they're going to kind of, you know, be like the shot caller. They have no idea of how things work, or, you know, the intricacies of an already established system, dynamic, you know, household, whatever. But there's just a pushiness to them. And I feel like with that snake, usually I would say, oh, this is a good sign. You know, this is like royalty. This is somebody who has a great and deep knowledge of life, of things that might be quite important to even your own self-development. But really what I feel like this is somebody that is just, they're a snake. They are narcissistic. They're toxic. They are, you know, maybe like a grifter, you know, like a con, you know, something where they are actively trying to kind of set up camp where they do not belong, right? They are coming in and trying to take over, and it just is not their place. And I feel like for you, yeah, you really do take issue with this, because listen, this is your life. This is your work. This is, you know, maybe you're the boss. Maybe you're the one that kind of runs all this stuff, and having to deal with this kind of outside energy coming in and just really, you know, and it must, I feel like this must be a younger person, because, you know, although you'll meet some people who are older who really are delusional, you know, that's not a rare occurrence. But I feel like there's something about being young, especially like in your, you know, 20s. I would say mid-20s is like peak of this energy, where it's like, I'm an adult, I know everything. Yeah, I could never be wrong, you know? And yeah, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. You have no idea what you're talking about right now, you know? And it's like, we've all been there. Let me just say, I absolutely cringe at my, how much I thought I knew, even just like, you know, 5 years ago. It just, you continually get humbled by life, don't you? And so I'm looking at this and it's kind of like, yeah, I don't know that this is going to be the biggest ordeal there is, but I do feel like it just is a distraction. And it throws off kind of the balance of things, which I feel like for you, Scorpio, it's kind of like, I mean, it's like you feel like your time is being wasted, right? Like things could have just been how they were and that was pretty decent, right? And now I'm dealing with this whole thing and I'm trying to stay in the best positive posture with it, right? But my goodness, what a waste of my time. And I think that's really what it comes down to. Also, just feeling uncomfortable. I think that's the thing. And I think that's the biggest resentment that happens with a Scorpio is you came into my house, you came into my world, you came into my spot, and you have made me feel, you know, uncomfortable, or like, you know, I have to be in conflict with somebody to just get things back to like status quo. And yeah, I resent that. I don't like that. I don't like that energy. And so I feel you taking, I mean, you're not letting them pass, right? You're not letting this just slide. You're not going to ignore it. You're not going to let it take hold. You're going to have to, you know, let it be known what it is, what it really is, right? And I see you really kind of standing up for yourself and being in that leadership role, letting everything kind of be known, put it down right on the table. These are the rules. This is how this works. And if you're not cool with that, then, you know, peace, right? Bye. I wish you well. And then we'll see. I want to see. I'm going to be a little nosy here. We're going to use our clarifying cards. I want to see what happens, like, with them. Are they going to take off? Are they going to, you know, are they going to stick around? These are the Oracle of the Radiant Sun, and I'm using these for the first time these last, like, 3 days. So, trying to kind of assimilate it into the readings. We'll see how it works out. I don't know if I'm going to keep using them, but I love these cards, so I'd like to get it worked out. So now we're going to just kind of stop where it feels right. Okay, so we have, let's see, Enterprise. Okay, Enterprise, and I'm gonna stop here, and it's gonna say originality. Oh my goodness. So I feel like, yeah, we're starting to, well, and here's the thing. I forgot we have this Magician energy. So this really, I feel like, it's not so much about them. It's more about you kind of in discovery. Okay. So instead of letting this get you off course and be so very distracting, you get right back into that Magician energy where you're not only like, you know, the rule keeper, the emperor of your life, but you are the magician. So you are the architect. You are creating things from the top to the bottom, bottom to the top. And instead of letting this kind of like just absolutely disrail you, having to, you know, keep those walls up, those boundaries strong, not letting somebody trespass on your life, and so on. Yeah, you put your mind back into getting into business for yourself, possibly building side hustles, your skill set, all of that, you know, all of that power that we all need in our life. We don't have options unless we are learning how to do things, unless we are spending time. Now, I'm not saying you have to like master anything in your life, really, but you have to be somewhat knowledgeable, right? You need to know how to get in there in a functional sense so that you can apply it, so you can become industrious and enterprising. And I think that you know that. And listen, a Scorpio person is very, very learned in the things that you care about. It's like I talk about with your aesthetic and your ability to create an atmosphere, and you're very particular usually about how you dress and how your home is, and you know, just basically the vibes you give off and all of that. You're very aware of these things. Now, this is also true about the things that you care about learning, the things that, like your career, your skill set. You know, like if you're a color specialist, a hair color specialist, right? You're not just going to be somebody who kind of knows how to do, you know, some kinds of color and on certain hair and whatever. No, you are going to be a specialist in whatever it is. You know, I don't know. Do people do highlights still? I don't know. I'm like a highlight specialist or something, but you're so good at it. People will come from all over to try to get an appointment with you. You know, it's like something like that. You're just really good at what you do. So I feel like this is where you're putting your energy. You're also innovative. You have originality, okay? So you're more focused on continuing to create rather than having to deal with the tedium of, you know, people coming in and out of your life. I feel like this is a time where you're very focused on building, not so focused on dealing with the comings and goings and the doings and all that. You want to build the life that you want. You don't want to be distracted by people's, you know, I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, BS, right? And so discovery. I do feel like there is a place here where, you're focused maybe on some kind of education, right? And if that is just practical life experience and you're out there traveling, you're having a grand adventures, or if you're going back to school, maybe you're going back to night school, you know, taking like a course, getting some kind of certification, whatever it is, you have this fire within you. And that really lends to your ability to, get all of the tools, variables, materials aligned so that you can kind of create the world that you want. And the big thing, I feel like you could easily lose your temper when this kind of energy comes around. When there's somebody who they don't belong. They're like a splinter in your foot, right? It's just, no matter what you do, it is getting more and more agitated, right? You got to take it out. You have to get rid of it, right? So I feel like this is ultimately going to be a moment where this person kind of is expelled from your life. Now, we have the reiteration of the snake. We have two of them right here. So, and then we have 222 as a number. 222, angel number. I almost kind of wonder if this person, You have all these snakes. Look at them. I kind of almost get the vibe that this is like maybe your ex's new person. Maybe like you co-parent, or it could even be like a sibling's significant other. But there's this dynamic where it's a little detached, but they all also have kind of access to your personal life, at least kind of on the outskirts of it, right? And that is why I think it affects you so much. Because it's like you can't really what's the word? Send them into exile. But you also like can't really deal with them because it's drama. And I feel like it, you know, you're having to learn how to not engage, just ignore a lot. Now up here I'm seeing we have some faces. We have an eye, we have a mouth, we have another eye and a mouth, a face right here. So I feel like there is this time coming up where you will have the opportunity to be with some people that you love. Friends, I think. And I see like kind of an enjoyment, laughing, kind of a little bit of drama, but fun drama, you know, gossiping, just enjoying each other. And almost kind of wonder if these are people that you grew up with or have known for a long time, because there is kind of this almost childlike return. If you have people in your life who you know from particular chapters, you know, and like you were really good friends when you were like 15, you know, between like 10 and 15, and then, you know, your life went a different direction or whatever, but you've stayed in contact and you're cool and you see each other once a year or whatever. But when you get back together, it's like you pick up where you left off and you get into this more kind of excitable, childlike kind of personality. And I feel like this is something you need. I feel like it's going to help with the reduction of stress, not being so serious about everything, just allowing yourself to kind of be silly, kind of nerd out, and yeah, let your hair down a bit, you know? Okay, so we have an arrow. We have an arrow, we have a face, we have another face. Okay. My tummy is growling. I'm sorry if you can hear that. I'm fasting. I am fasting. And not always easy. So we have Y-O-U, you. I feel like this is working on getting back together with somebody. And I don't know that, I wonder if you are still together. I don't think that this is necessarily like an ex that you're like trying to figure it out with. I wonder if this is somebody you're in a relationship with or you have begun dating or whatever. There's been a little bit of conflict. I feel like there's distance, right? But there's such a love there. And I feel like it's kind of, I almost think that you kind of like the turmoil sometimes with this person, because I feel like when you make up, it is just so amazing. And I feel like at times, yeah, you like a little bit of negative attention. Now, I'm not saying that you are somebody who is going to cause problems on purpose. But I think that you do enjoy a little bit of being kind of, you know, in a place where the emotions are heightened. And so I feel like the makeup here is going to be amazing. And there's just such a love and devotion that is built or building. It feels very strong here. And so I see you turning towards right? Focusing on this love affair, right? This person, this connection, because I feel like it is one that's going to end up being maybe the big relationship of your life. This might be your one. And we get this idea that like when we meet somebody and they're our person, it's going to be easy and it's all just going to click into place and we're going to be BFFs forever. We're never going to fight. Everything is just, whatever. I don't know. Maybe this is because, like I always say, Virgo, or I'm Virgo, you're Scorpio, that we're like siblings. Virgos are the less interesting sibling of a Scorpio, but very, very similar, right? And I don't know about you, but I've never had a fulfilling relationship that was easy. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a difficult person, but yes, ask my husband. But there's something just so enchanting, intoxicating, beloved about somebody that you're a little bit in struggle with, right? And when you get to that place where it is working and it feels so good, right? You can't give that up. No. Even when it does. Sometimes, some days are difficult. Some days are like, I don't even know who this person is. I don't even think I want to know, right? But then it changes, right? And you see, this is my person. I remember you. I know you. We connect. Our hearts, they belong together. And we're going to figure it out. And I feel like that's really what it is for you. It is a sense of, we're going to figure this out and we're going to really, really enjoy it. And sometimes, absolutely, it's going to feel like the end of the world. But we'll get past those moments. All right. Let's do our self-care affirmation deck. I'm going to stop where it feels right. Let's see. Oh, grass in the wind. I adapt to life like a blade of grass blown in the wind and held firm by its roots. I change continuously while my core remains steadfast. I am adaptable. I am adaptable. All right. Scorpio, I love you. I love you. I love you. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me. It is always such an honor to be able to bring these messages to you. And if you would be so kind as to like the video, it really does help the channel. And if you have not subscribed yet, please think about doing that. You can hit that little bell. It'll let you know when the next readings are coming out. It is free to subscribe. Also, if you would like to leave a comment, I would love to hear from you. If you're new to the channel, definitely shout it out in the comment section. And I hope everybody's having a nice end of the season. There are leaves coming down already here. The trees went from that real velvety green to like they're more of that kind of lighter yellowy green. And I'm watching them and I'm thinking, oh my goodness. I'm excited for summer to be over. I love summer. I love all of it. I find reasons to love all of them, but I'm such a sucker for winter. I just love deep winter. I like it cold, cold, cold. But then, you know, I live in the upper Midwest where it is like the tundra here during the winter for at least like 4 or 5 months. Absolutely so cold. And some amount of snow. You usually have a pretty good amount. But I love it. I look forward to it. But there's this moment when you start to smell fall that a little terror arises in me. And I remember I won't be seeing the sun very often. I remember my bones start to ache. My joints get a little bit sore. And oh my goodness, all of the scraping of ice off of the ground, all of the, you know, plowing snow, shoveling. Oy, oy, oy. So, yeah, it's coming. It is going to be here sooner than I imagined, but I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to keep a happy spirit. I'm going to put on some, I love a bunch of bands from Iceland. They have a beautiful etheric sound. There's one called Amina that is beautiful. Mum, M-U-M, another band I really like from there. Of course, Bjork. You know, and a few others that are just fantastic. Oh, well, I should mention my favorite band of all time. It's called Bang Gang, and that's an old trip hop band. But anyways, when I'm getting towards winter, I start listening to a lot of this kind of more droney, ambient, hip hop, or not trip hoppy, dream pop kind of music. It gets me into that kind of arid place. So I'll continue to try to rally myself, and I hope you are too. And I love you, Scorpio. I love you, and I thank you for spending these rambling times with me, and we'll talk real soon, just a few days from now. Good night. Good night.